Hi, Dr. Zorba Pastor doing a rapid update on weight loss drugs. Is it a boom? Is it a breakthrough? Is it a bubble? What are some of the issues that really surround Ozempic and Wegovy that we have to address? So first of all, as you know, these drugs, not for everyone, but for many people, can produce a 15 to 20% weight loss, which is amazing. Now, not everyone does that happen to. So people who take the drugs, spend the money, and don't have the weight loss start to feel bad about it because we know the drugs work, but they don't work with everyone. Who should get them? Well, they were originally designed for diabetics, so certainly they should get them. We know that some insurance companies will pay for them and many insurance companies will not. And we're talking about basically drugs that cost up to $1,000 a month. And insurers are pulling back on this. They're compounding pharmacies that produce drugs that are really Me Too drugs that are very similar, that can be very useful for people and cost much, much less. And then you can also purchase them directly through the company, through a number of their websites. But the real issue, besides this issue concerning whether or not it's going to be paid for by insurance, is the long-term safety. And we don't have data on it. There's some data that there's muscle loss associated with it. Well, we want to have loss of fat, but we do not want to have a loss of muscle. So if you're going to take the drugs, I think it's important to make sure you get at least 60 grams of protein, but probably more like 80 or 90 grams of protein. I think if you're going to do that, you can buy some excellent protein supplement drinks, 150, 180 calories, and you can get 30 grams of protein. A number of them are really good. I think these drinks are excellent for people who want to get protein into their body. They're usually soy protein or they're protein from whey. So I think that's an important thing. The other thing that's important to make sure you don't have as much muscle loss is to make sure you really exercise when you're taking the GLP-1 drugs. And then there are the GI side effects that people have. They can have nausea and discomfort. But the real kicker is what happens when you stop the drugs. Now, there's some evidence that for many people, they take the drug, the GLP-1s like Ozempic, to kickstart your weight loss if they stop the drug and they work on keeping their weight down. Once again, it really is an appetite suppressant. That's really what it's doing. It's reducing the appetite by stopping the food noise, people with the food noise thinking about food all the time. But when you stop the drugs, many people go back to their same weight, but some people do not. So if you're going to take the drugs, how long do you take them? Or are you now going to dedicate yourself that you're taking this for life? Well, we don't know people who take this for 10 or 15 years what that does. So the bottom line here is the drugs are useful. They're worthwhile. Insurance companies do not necessarily pay for them. Pushing them to pay for them for people who truly need them are important. People should not feel guilty if they take the drugs and do not have weight loss. They shouldn't feel bad about that. But it's changing what you're doing even after 1 year or 2 years after you're on the drugs, if you're going to stop taking them. That is the only way that you're going to basically keep the weight loss. And realize when you take the drugs, we do not know the long-term side effects. We do know that there appears to be something called Ozempic face, which is the loss of subcutaneous tissue in the face. And when you lose subcutaneous tissue, your wrinkles start up. We know one of the reasons that kids and young children have face without wrinkles is they have more subcutaneous tissue. That's fat below the skin that keep your face nice and puffy. And we know that with the GLP-1 drugs, you lose subcutaneous, many people lose subcutaneous fat in their face, and that's why the wrinkles occur. Whether or not this is long-term or not, we don't really know. So, buyer, be aware. This is Dr. Zorba Pastor. Stay well.